Hello, everybody. We are live on Google Hangouts. Welcome to the Midas Touch Book Club, a book where leading experts reveal their top secrets to winning big in business and in life. As I said in the past Google Hangouts, throughout the few weeks, you guys are going to be meeting the authors of the Midas Touch Book Club. Unfortunately, we were not able to get Joe Vitale to join us. I'm sure you understand he's a busy man. But today we will be talking about Joe Vitale's chapter, which is called The Secret Fewer People Know. Joining me is Joshua. Hello, Joshua.
Hello.
And I'm going to, okay, go. Say hello.
Hello.
There you go. And then we also have Nossa, the Italian.
Hello, everybody.
And we have Miss Christopher Barrett.
Hi, everyone.
So let's start the ball, Joshua. Tell us, what did you see? What did you hear in this chapter?
Well, Dr. Vitale's chapter really resonates deep within me. I think a lot of it has to do with what I'm having personally going on, but as I've read through his other books and read his stuff, it very much makes sense. I don't know how else to say it. It makes sense, and it's like one of those things where, duh, why didn't I think about this before? Why didn't this come to me before? Well, as I read this chapter, he's really talking about the way I saw it was perceptions in here. And you're seeing things every day, day in, day out of, most of it's negative. In the media, everywhere, it's just negative, negative, negative. And it's one of those things that we catch ourselves doing it, glass half empty, glass half full type of mentality type of deal. And a lot of people are going to that negativity part of it. And, I find myself, I slip down that path sometimes, and I go down there. And within this chapter, there was just this one little passage that I liked a lot here that I want to go ahead and share was, it says, most people don't think beyond themselves. That's where we get that negativity, coming into our brains, and our ego and everything stepping in. We don't think beyond ourselves. That's fine for survival. You do need to take care of yourself. Obviously, we need to take care of ourselves. But the real secret to success is when you take care of others and yourself. When you get beyond your ego and beyond yourself, and you start thinking of others. And then what he goes on to say is, I'm really talking about a shift in perception. You might think that this is a mental operation that you'll never be able to do. It might seem like a foreign way of perceiving the world around you. I used to believe I couldn't think like this too. I remember 30 years ago listening to a marketing genius, Jay Abraham, say he'd walk into a gym and see 100 ways they could make more money. And then he'd just start rattling them off. So the way I see that is that as opposed to walking into something and you listen to the things going on as being just this negative, whether it's meant to be or not, will get drawn into that. The way I'm, approaching things, I think we all need to refocus, recenter ourselves, and allow ourselves to become ourselves. So in doing that, we can really start to perceive things differently. And perception is reality. It is what it is. Perception is reality. If you perceive things in that woe is me, the world is bad mentality, then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're going to continue, and it's going to utilize the law of attraction and just continue to bring that in your world, and you feel the weight, and you're just going down. And then you change your perception. That glass isn't half empty or half empty, it's half full. And go further beyond that and say, what else do I can put more into this glass? I could fill it up. Things aren't bad. There's things to do. There's ways to do things differently. Ways to get beyond yourself, and the whole talk of money. That's a big thing with everybody, And the way I'm seeing this too, again, I'm going a little personal on this, is that I've had to dig in deep and realize that I was afraid of financial success. That I believed that money was bad. One of the things that we're taught as kids, money is the root of all evil. No! The love of money is the root of all evil. But you get that in your head, and it's ingrained, and it's a program. We're programmed to think that way. We're programmed to believe that. And, this chapter stirred up so much within me that I thought I had out and gone, and it kind of came back in. And now I'm releasing it again. And I'm going to allow myself to, be in that more positive line, to think that, that really concept of things aren't bad, things are good. There's ways, everything we go through is for a reason. Everything that's happened has happened for a reason. And the other thing, too, is it's in the past. If it's in the past, it's in the past. What we have now is now. So, yeah, can you tell I'm a little passionate about this chapter? Because it did bring up so much within me, and it was like, oh, boy, whoa, hey. And I'll tell you, when I released it, it was this huge weight that I didn't even understand. I didn't realize I allowed it on me again. So it's a matter of I am reassessing, reprogramming, and just looking and seeing the beauty in everything. So, there you go, Jasmine.
I think that what I like in what you're saying is the word again, because I think that we think that once we got it, and it's never going to happen again. And then the thing is that no, it actually is going to happen again. And again, and again, and again. Because we've been programmed like this. Like, I'm 25. And I learned this. I've been ingrained. I've been trained. I've been practicing this for years. So this new concept needs to, I need to continue practicing it. And sometimes when I'm in a low state of mind, I really don't want to practice it. I would rather just stay in this, it's like less effort to just stay negative, you know what I mean? But then, thank goodness, I come back to the point and I say, oh yeah, I'm the one creating this. So, okay, get off it, Jazz. This is kind of like what's going on for me. So again and again, guys, we gotta practice.
The more it happens is eventually, the more you practice, it will sink in and it becomes your first thought. Even when you're in lower mind, you're more conscious of the words and your reaction coming out because you have successfully reprogrammed your mind. And I want to put a plug in because, and I have a great story here. Joe, or Dr. Vitale, he has so many wonderful resources, and he has a fellow, Steve G. Jones, who he totally promotes. It's like his bro now, and he has all these great hypnotic, subliminal, all kinds of hypnotic sessions that you can download. So my entire download is like Joe's music for the years, which has the hypnotic messages in it, Steve G. Jones, and I go to sleep with them every night. So my computer a month ago crashes, and I'm like, oh no, because when I have clients come, a lot of times I turn them on to this, and I say, go to their websites, buy these things, but I introduce them because I have them and I share them with my clients. So here I was thinking, just like in Joe's chapter, it wasn't just, oh, my computer, it was, oh my God, I use all this information to help so many people. But I said, this is terrible. And I took it to one computer place, and they called me and they said, we cannot retrieve your hard drive, it has crashed. And I'm thinking, I'm going to send Joe this sobbing email. Oh my goddess, I've lost all of these for like 10 years. I have so many. And they're like, your music, your iTunes. I said, I have no music. This is important stuff. This is for my clients. These are meditations. These are hypnotic sessions. Like, this is so important. And he goes, we can't retrieve it. Or we can, but it's going to start at the tune of $900. And I said, not in my universe. And I left, and as I was coming home, I was like, miracles surround me in every moment. And my car just turned. I went into this new place. They had just opened by right around the corner from my house. And I went in and I said, please, this is really important stuff, and it helps many. You know that they called me, they said, no worries, we got it, $25. And so everything was completely restored. They did it, but it was just changing my reality. And one of my most favorite expressions that I use is, not my universe, like, you're going to have to wait 5 days. Not my universe. I expect miracles, and they show up. I don't know how, but I know they do. And sure enough, everything shifts in that moment. So they're all different kinds of tools to help you reprogram your mind and become more discerning of the words that are coming out of our mouths, more or less our own perception. But we have to break a lot of our old perceptions of our experiences. And I mean, my inbox is always loaded with, oh, I can't make money in South Florida. And I'm like, what makes you think, if that's your reality, that you're going to make money anywhere? I said, money is energy, and money in abundance is everywhere. You've got to change your perception about it. And once you're on your right path, and it feels good, and you've changed your attitude, everything totally starts rolling out in the more positive, and the universe totally shows up for us and supports us. I wanted to read a little thing from Joe's chapter, and it says, feed it the positive, and you'll see, and then attract the positive. You'll tune in to the abundance network in your own mind. You'll have a paradigm shift, a shift of your view of the world, and you'll see abundance where you didn't see it before. It's basic law of attraction at work. You attract what you expect and believe. Just change the channel in your mind, and as I say, yeah, baby, expect miracles. So there's my little input on it. I just got goosebumps everywhere too. So there we go.
Yeah, we don't realize always what our words are doing to our lives. Like I'm just going to give an example that showed up as you were talking. Like last week I went to lunch with a girlfriend, and as I see her approaching, I'm thinking to myself, wow, she looks fabulous. This is my thought. And as she approaches, I tell her, you look fabulous, So I tell her this, and her reaction is, no, I'm fat. And I'm like, but why? Like, I understand that, she's basically throwing back at me that, you know, she's not being her word to herself because she's eating all of this crap. Like, she really wants to be eating well, and she's not. So she's really just reflecting that as she's telling me this. But what she's also doing, like, it's not a bad intention in her part to say that, but what she's also doing is, I'm giving her love, and she's just like pushing it, you know, she's just pushing it back in my face, you know? And thank goodness I'm like awake to that kind of thing, so I can say, look, just please receive what I'm giving you. Because the only way that you're gonna get things is if you allow them to come in. If you keep pushing them away, then you can't really go out and start complaining that you got nothing, you know, because you're pushing stuff away. It's like, I don't know if it makes any sense what I'm saying, but that's what showed up for me.
Jasmine, I think you could have said anything to her, and she would have done the exact same thing. Hey, those are great shoes. Wow, what a beautiful day. And it's part of that programming, I think, that we were talking about, and that, you know, it's always like defensive. Wait a minute. Why are you saying something nice to me? You know, type of thing. So that goes to our perception of the world, I believe. You know, the programming that's just gone through our minds and, you know, created those, you know, synapses and everything that put you on the defensive no matter what. And I do think that there's some self-loathing or whatever you want to call it in that. But, you know, it's you did the absolute right thing. You're like, wait, hold on. No. Take a compliment. I mean it with love. This is love.
Yeah.
That's your ego reacting to someone who wants to change the way it has been programmed, because he likes to stay in his world, you know, where it feels safe. So if you try to change that programming, then the ego reacts. By the way, I wanted to add something to, if I may, follow up what Joshua said. He referred to a sentence that was very important to me as well from the chapter. The real secret to success is when you take care of others and yourself. I think that this passage, if we see it in a wider way, it doesn't mean that you have to only take care of your friends, your colleagues, people you work with, or whatever. But it takes you to realize that you're a part of the universe and you're connected with everybody and everyone. So what it means to me, taking care of others, is feeling connected with everything and knowing that we are one. We really are one. So if we take care of ourselves and the others, it's the same thing, basically. So when you understand this point, you really have a shift, not in your mind, but in your conscience, you know. You become aware of something much bigger. And so this, it's like a jump. You know, you open a window in yourself when you understand this point. You start to see things in a different way and feel really a part of everything. So then it comes natural to take care of others, you know, because you are the others and the others are yourself.
Absolutely. I think it goes right back to the ego that you were just talking about. You know, if your focus is to take care of yourself, then that's just the ego talking. Is that we are all one, you know. as a universe, we're all one. So.
Yeah, that's a little for me.
Forward is going to be so much more expansive when you broaden your vision to being in service for others, as well as you have to take care of yourself. I've always been lopsided on the serve others and not serving myself as much. So you have to keep it in balance, but you have to, serve yourself so that you are well and of healthy mind and body and heart, so that you can expand out and really serve others. And once you start thinking about others, whether it's just the way they receive your information and sharing it, you have people that want to go in conflict. I teach all the time that everybody has a different perception of the same experience. It doesn't have to be a conflict, but that you can serve by honoring and allowing whatever that other person's perception of the experience is. So now you're removing yourself from conflict, you're honoring another, they take that forward and honor and so forth. If we did that, we'd have far less conflict, less ego, and we'd be more in service and more open and open-hearted to accept others' experiences and perceptions. And in that, we learn something that there is, we can look at it from all different angles, and that's Joe's point is in his chapters to be able to look at things broader than your own vision. And then that would encompass serving others, and when you are, whatever others is to you, whether it's a small community or a larger, broader service, then you get excited, and then what happens is you get inspired, and because you're in alignment with serving others, it starts to roll and domino and get more exciting, and sure, the abundance starts showing up for you, but the real joy is to see how it is serving others, how it's expanding others. It's a delight. And that inspiration and joy are great places to be able to create and manifest more from.
You say it very well. You say it very well in your chapter, Christopher, when you say that we are all one. So when you do something to yourself or into yourself, do it to others,
Exactly. I'm trying to teach teenagers this now. Wow.
Well, what I've noticed for myself is because I start taking care of me, and I don't know how to verbalize it, but because I'm taking care of me, then I can take care of others. Like I've noticed that there are things that I don't take care of me about, and so I certainly can't take care of others about it. Like I don't know what an example to give. I can only give an example of the stuff that I do. Like one of the things that I do is I sleep 8 hours. I have to sleep my 8 hours. And when I find somebody who doesn't sleep, like for me it's 8 hours, but when I find somebody who doesn't sleep, I kind of like want to take care of them and make them understand that if they rest their body, they're going to feel so much better. Like that kind of thing that's showing up for me.
You got to help me because I get about 6.
Yep.
Some people work great on shift. Jasmine these days. I think I'm an 8-hour person, but recently, no, it's 5 hours. I'm like, what am I doing awake? The sun hasn't even come up yet. So, but I honor that instead of fighting and going, oh, I need 8 hours. It's like, well, maybe I'm rested. Maybe that's okay. Maybe I'm supposed to get up and write or love one of my animals more, or just be in a peaceful place of gratitude. You know, and I think gratitude is a great gift to give to yourself, you know, just to start the day and be in gratitude. Because people are like, well, what can I, you know, how can I better take care of myself? Well, dump the negative conversation in your own head and just replace it with gratitude. Your whole day will shift.
It's funny, Christopher. I'll tell you that how I end my day and start my day every single day is, I love you, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I fall asleep to that, and I wake up to it, and it's something that really, even when I go through my ups and downs and my, you know, slipping back into my ego and stuff, I have never once gone away from doing that, and I've been doing that for a year and a half. I probably say it 10,000 times a day. I've said it on this conversation that we're having right now. I'm actually saying it as I'm speaking here in the back of my mind, and I will tell you that's a form for me, a form of meditation that I'm able to do like a cognitive awake meditation, and then I can really sink in and get a nice, good, solid meditation. And when I catch myself and my weight and my head and everything is coming down, I do that, and I believe it. And that's what I think is so important, that, you know, if you pray, you meditate, whatever you do, believe in what you're doing. When you say, I love you, I'm saying it to myself. I believe that. I'll tell you, I looked in the mirror for the first time in probably 3 months today. Like, really looked in the mirror and looked into my own eyes and looked into my soul. And I wondered, why have I not done this? I used to do this every single day. I looked in the mirror and I stood there and I looked deep into my soul and I said, I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. It brings tears to my eyes, because it's one of those things is that I don't, Jasmine, this goes to what you were saying. We don't show ourselves enough love. If we have to love ourselves, and you know, one of the things that I started getting a little worried about is I didn't want to be hypocritical, right? I don't want to be someone out there telling somebody, love yourself, meditate, pray, hug, laugh, live, enjoy. And here I am, living in a dark corner, you know, with this weight over me, because I'm not doing that for myself. So I make that decision. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I allow myself to be loved by myself, and therefore by others, Yvonne, by others, and it makes it that whole symbiotic, universal love. But it's a matter of, when I'm telling myself, I love you, you know, please, you know, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you. When you expand that out to the universe loves you. So, woo! My head's tingling.
Joshua, I love that it's your back tape, because mine is too, with, you know, along with Diane's. But that prayer alone, it's so simple, and it is so powerful. It is the most powerful prayer. I've been doing it since it's been out. I don't know how long now, 7 years, 10 years, whenever Zero Limits came out. And absolutely love it. It has, during that time, I think right around the time I discovered it, I was in heartbreak, and it was the one thing. Apparently, we have a lot of commentating here. Sorry, everybody.
We're on track. You can tell we're on track.
Yeah, we're on track. She's our. Yep. But it was the one thing that really shifted everything.
Yep.
And when you really do it, just like you were saying, Joshua, looking and saying, I love you. You know, I'm sorry I forgot to love you yesterday. Please forgive me. You know, thank you for waking up and listening to yourself. And it's so powerful. And that's the brain changer and the
and I think too the beauty behind that prayer too is that it applies everywhere. Like I'm saying it to Ivan, and I'm saying it to Jasmine, and I'm saying it to you, Christopher, and I'm saying it to JP, and I'm saying it to Joe, and I'm saying it to my mom and my kids and my dad and stuff. Is that it's one of those things, and one of the most powerful. I know we're off topic of the Midas Touch, but on Zero Limits, probably the most powerful thing I saw in there about that prayer was that it doesn't have to be directed towards anyone. Just
Joshua,
start saying it.
Joshua, maybe not everybody is familiar with that. Can you tell briefly what it is and how it works?
Well, it is from the book, like Christopher said, Zero Limits, and it was it's Ho'oponopono, and it's a prayer. I don't want to get too deep into it because I don't want to misrepresent it in any way, but really, it's a prayer you just say to yourself, and it's something that it's very like you said, Christopher. It's very, very simple. I love you. I love you. First and foremost, you're saying that to yourself. You're saying that to yourself, and you believe that you're saying it. That's why it's what I find very, very powerful with this prayer is standing in front of the mirror, looking into my eyes, and I say, I love you. I am sorry. And, you know, you're not saying that, oh, I'm a sorry person. No, 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 no. You're saying, look, I'm sorry I didn't, like Christopher said, I'm sorry I didn't love you as much as I should have yesterday. You know, or something along those lines. But you're allowing those things that have been weighing on you to leave, to go away. Please forgive me. Oh my gosh, I made a mistake. Oh no! Please forgive me. You're asking yourself to forgive yourself. And that right there, if you get behind that, weight lifts. It's gone. And then, of course, thank you. And it's thank you for loving me. Thank you for allowing me to love others. Thank you for being part of this universe. Thank you, clean water. Thank you. You know, I actually say this prayer to the water coming out of the shower when I take a shower. I say that prayer to each drop, and I visualize.
Joshua, on that, I have to share this story because it kind of goes in alignment with his chapter. My hot water heater had blown up, and the whole thing was a mess. We couldn't put a new one in because the room was rotted where it was in. So I went months without hot water in winter. All right, so I am every day getting in a really like chilled shower, and I'm going, I'm so grateful for the water. Water. You know, I've spent a lot of time in the Amazon where I was bathing in the actual Amazon basin. So I was grateful for water. You know, where a lot of people, their programming could be, oh, it's cold and I don't have hot water. I was just in that. I am so grateful for my water, for running water. And then it's so much fun when you start doing that because you're like, I'm so grateful for my faucet. I'm so grateful for, you know, the tile. I'm so grateful that I actually have a bathroom, you know, that I have shampoo in the shower. And what's really fun is when you start with the gratitude, that helps reprogram you because you go more into the positive.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it's changed my life. I mean, going through here, and you know, and Dr. Joe Vitale has shown me, he has shown a way that has allowed my life to become who I am. Capital I, capital A, capital M, I am. Has shown me, has allowed me to come through that, and it I was the most pessimistic person in the world. I mean, it was not who I was, right? Like I was never I am. I was always who I thought I was supposed to be. And I think that does go back to Joe's chapter here too, is on perception and programming and reprogramming and getting to that point. I have told, you know, my mom very particularly, I have told her that prayer to say. And I just told her, I go, just say it. Like I was told, don't give her any other reasons behind it, nothing like that. Just have her say those prayers every day, every day, every day. And she's seen some miracles happen in her life. She's seen those changes, you know, that have happened.
It is like a mantra that if you keep repeating it, it really goes deep inside yourself. You can feel it,
Well,
and it changes your day. Yeah.
And it expands. It gets outside of you. Well,
And what I do, if I'm triggered, I instantly that just starts going off, and then I add the tapping, you know, emotional freedom technique to it, and I don't care where I am. People are like, oh, it's stupid, and I'm like, what is your way working for you? So I'll be out in public just tapping and saying, I love you, I am sorry, looking around, please, thank you, please forgive me. And I'm in Home Depot with my partner, and I'm tapping and saying the prayer, and he's like, what did I do wrong? He's like, why are you tapping and saying that prayer? And I said, it's not you, baby, it's me. It's something going on in me, and I'm clearing it. I'm cleaning house.
yeah. Yeah, well, and that's exactly it. It's cleaning house. It's cleaning the clutter from your mind. And the whole part of, if you put up a block and try not to, well, this is bad, I got to clear it, I got to not think about it. All you're doing is trapping it in here. You just got to allow it to go. Allow it. Thank you. Hey, thanks, water bill, for coming up in my mind. Great. I'll see you later. And allow it to go away. And, you know, there's things that, you know, that we can all do individually for the collective whole of the universe is, you know, love yourself. And by loving yourself, it loves others. It's just this automatic, just oozes. You know,
I want to interject before I forget, Joshua. I love that you brought up like the water bill. So many people, when their bills come, they're like, oh, I have to pay this, I have to pay this. And when I pay mine, I'm like, I am so grateful to pay this bill because A, I have water, yay, or whatever it is. And then I say, in me paying it, I am also helping to pay somebody's salary so that they can buy maybe nice Christmas gifts for their children. It's like, yep. I love that. So does Miss Percy.
That is true. You can see everything from different sides, you know. It's our choice to be happy or not.
You can tell I'm rarely happy, so.
Well, I think that, you know, the part of the chapter that that Joe was talking about, that I liked in what Joe was talking about, is really about the perception. You know, I think that everybody knows the picture of the young lady or the old lady. Let me see if I can actually pop it here. I think I can pop it up. There you go. On. There you go. Here's our lady. So do we see an old lady or do we see a young lady in this picture? So I like this. He says, because he says both types of worlds exist right now. The lousy economy one as well as the abundant economy one. I'm not denying that, but it's like an optical illusion. Depending on how you look, the image is either an old woman or a young woman. Reality itself is neutral. The question is, which view are you going to let program you? Which do you want to live in? So I think that, yeah, I mean, when I was 15, in my younger years, I would have like nightmares, like constantly. I remember being a kid, you know, I remember 7 years old, and I would still hop into my parents' bed, you know, to sleep the night away because I kept having bad dreams. And when I turned 15, I thought, you know, I think I'm going to stop looking at the newspaper and watching the news. And I don't, to this day, I don't watch news and I don't read the newspaper. And in my 20s and 30s, you know, my friends were like, why don't you watch the news? Like, why don't, like, and they were, it was like, it took me a while to accept that I was doing it. I don't know how to say it, but it was kind of like I was hiding that fact. Like if somebody would be talking about the news, I'd be, for some reason, I'd disappear. You know, like all of a sudden I wasn't there anymore, just in case somebody asked me my point of view. But the fact is, I now sleep. I don't need to listen to the news. I don't want that. I don't want to know the bad stuff that's going on. I want that abundance channel. I want that one. And that's why I love Facebook. I love Facebook because in my news feed, it's everybody that I chose, everybody that's talking about beautiful things and about love and about, you know, communication and about, that's what I love about. And that's what I speak about now. And I want everybody to get that, you know, whatever the words that are coming out of your mouth gives you your very next moment of being alive. Like, guys, get that, you know? Like when I hear somebody say, oh, this thing just killed me. I'm like, what? Stop it. What you doing? You know, it's like that's exactly, you're creating your life like that. And really, I love that part. You know, like I'm a businesswoman, and all I hear everywhere is, oh, we're in a recession, you know, and I'm like, stop saying that. Shush. You know, we're not in a recession. Things are going great, you know? And they're like, yeah, but Jasmine, it says it everywhere in the world. Everybody's saying it. Well, yeah, but it's not because everybody's saying it that it's true. You know? It's like you can agree with them or you can disagree with them. You agree with them. You choose to live in a world that, you know, is going to hell. And if you don't, then you choose to live in a world where you're happy and you're abundant and you're, you know. So, sorry, my turn to be passionate, Joshua.
Never apologize.
So awesome. You know, people that like to watch the news, a great way. I watch the news every once in a while just to monitor what's kind of going on in the world. But when I do, I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you.
I do the same thing. That's funny.
Yeah, from another mother.
It's part of our world.
I grew up in a house where we used to watch the news 24 hours a day and bring home 1 or 2 newspapers, and really every news we had to watch it. While we were eating, we had the news on. And when I moved from my house, at a certain point I decided to stop watching the news because I could feel all the bad vibrations, you know, energy that was coming from the news. And my life, it's one of the things that has changed my life, you know. Not watching the news, choosing which articles you read on the newspaper. Newspaper is better because you can choose what to read, despite the fact that they put, you know, the big titles with the bad news, the crime, war, and whatever. But you can choose. I immediately go to the, you know, entertainment page or culture or whatever, and stopping to watch the news has been big step, because I was used to. It was like really programming, you know. When I came home from work, I had to switch on the TV and watch the news. But you can live without it. It's very simple. It's
Yeah.
not hard. You can live without the news. And you know everything because your friends tell you, or you read in internet or Facebook, and it's
Or you
so
just
much
don't need to
better.
know.
Yes.
What did you say, Joshua? I didn't hear.
I said, or you just don't need to know. I mean, that's the whole thing. Is that news is? I don't know what it's like in Italy or in Canada, but I'm assuming it's fairly similar. Is that news is more entertainment and that programming for an agenda, as opposed to actually news. You know, so that's the big reason I have personally got away from it is, the I'm very selective on what I do watch on TV, what I choose to go into my mind, because I do believe there's a lot of I don't want to be conspiracy theorist type thing, but that programming and the subliminal type of things that are put into every one of those articles or every one of those broadcasts. I mean, we can Joe Vitale, perfect example. You look at his website and the way it's set up is done on a subliminal level. There's things in there that he'll talk about it, and he talks about how his websites are designed to be on that subliminal level to create those positive vibrations and stuff as you're looking at his site itself. So you have the other end too, right? You have the end of the mainstream, media that's doing the opposite because they want you to live in that fear. They want you to continue to buy in on the program, just like Joe said in his chapter. So it's a choice you can make. Now when I do see stuff like that, just like Christopher said, I will say, the prayer for it. I will say, because now that I have seen it and it's entered into my consciousness and subconsciousness, it is part of my world. It's part of all of our world. And I have the ability to help clean that. I have the ability to help eliminate those negative things going on. And one last example I'll give, I love this story of what I did, is that the ability that you have, and I may have shared this before, but the ability that you have is amazing. I was walking through Denver International Airport, big airport, a lot of people going through, and I said I love you and meant it. Looked at every single person and said I love you to them, to myself, and I looked at like the back of their heads or whatever, and there's people everywhere, and I love you, 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 I love you. The interesting thing that started happening was people started turning around and smiling right at me, looking me right in the eyes and smiling. I didn't know these people. Some of them were up to 20 meters away. So being able to, your ability to love is huge. Think of that situation.
You create your own world, Joshua. So if you give love, you're surrounded by love. We create everything that surrounds us.
Yeah, my favorite saying is, if you want to feel love, give love.
Yeah. Well, I believe the world's changed. No, I don't believe it. It is. I see it every day. The world is changing. People are becoming more positive, and it's because of people are becoming more aware, I think, is the actual real way to put it, is that we're becoming more aware. We're starting to vibrate at a higher level. And a lot of it is, I see it in my children. Oh my gosh. The light illuminates from them, literally.
Yes.
I see it all around me. I see it in, the plants, and I can, you see it everywhere if you allow yourself to. And so...
Yes, it is true. It is also true that you probably have had this shift in your consciousness, So you see things differently. You see them as they are, as they really are.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, that's funny, Yvonne. I had that same thought. I was like, yeah, is the world changing or have I changed? Kind of thing, you know? It's kind of like, was it always like that? Like,
Jasmine, it's both.
yeah.
It is both. You're part of this world. And you've changed. So as you have changed, the world has changed. And yeah, we may feel like, okay, I'm one out of 8 billion people, but no, that's not true. I mean, we are so symbiotic related with everything from the earth to the air to the water to people to everything, that as one of us changes, actually it's not even really changes, is as we become aware and as we become to where we're allowing ourselves to be I am, allowing ourselves to vibrate and resonate at that higher level, things are changing. It's when you go, is it me or is it the world or was it always like this? My personal opinion on that, it doesn't matter. That's not a question I need to ask.
Yeah, it doesn't matter either. I really I get like in the last, I'm going to say last 2, maybe 3 years, I feel like I've plugged into me.
Yeah.
Very nice expression. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, you know, oh, look at that. No, that's how I'd react. That's how I want the world to be.
Yeah.
You're opening up. You're starting to see. You're starting to perceive things. The more you let light come into yourself, the more you will see the light that the world has to give you. You know, it's everything is connected. It is true. It's hard to believe sometimes, but it is true.
Yeah.
So I feel like taking this opportunity. I don't know if Joe will listen to this hangout, but I want to say thank you, Joe, for giving us the opportunity to be part of this group and be part of this book, and for us to be able to meet. I think that I think it's totally awesome that I get to have these talks with people like you guys, and that we get to have Google Hangouts, and then we get to chat, and we get to create whatever we're creating. I think is awesome, and I believe
we are changing the world, Jasmine, for what we can, you know.
Yeah, we're doing the best that we can, and I want to say thank you to Joe and Dan, because both of them were the ones who introduced us, basically.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Dan. I know you watch
Thank you,
this.
Joe. Thank you, Dan.
They are watching this. They are. I know they
Thank
are.
you.
They're paying attention to what's going on. And I think we need to not worry about growth. I don't think it shouldn't be something we are even concerned with in the least little bit. Time happens as it should. Things happen as they should. We need to make sure that we allow them to happen. We need to allow it to be and not force things to be, but listen to when we're being told to do things. I mean, that's with everything in life. But I think particularly with our group here, I think it's awesome. And it is going to be, people are going to be watching this in 10 years right now and listening to what I'm saying right now and be like, oh my gosh, it's like a time machine. But it is going to be big. We are part of a big movement, I guess, so to say, that this is something that's going to develop. I see it, guys, I see it, and I've been shown it. Yvonne, when I talked about you being on stage with thousands and thousands of people and talking and doing that, we're all going to be up there on that stage, and it's a worldwide stage. We already are, but in a metaphorical sense, but in a reality, it's going to happen. Be ready, guys, because it's coming.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. I agree. We will. It will be big. I know.
We're going to be on a stage. All the authors. I see 42 or how many. That we're going to be up there on that stage, and it's going to be the Midas Touch movement or whatever it's called. And
Yes.
the beauty of this is that we are helping ourselves and others. How's that for a nice tying it in there?
Yes.
We are. So guys, we're at the end of our hour already. I want to first of all say thank you for joining me. For those of you who are listening in, please make sure you liked our Facebook page, because we now have a Facebook page for the book. So basically just find the Midas Touch. When I edit this video, I'll put the link in so you guys can just click on it. I don't know if it's going to be there or there, but it's going to be somewhere around there. And or maybe at the bottom somewhere here. The other thing that I want to let you know, make sure that you get your copy of the book. If you want to talk to Mr. Ivan, you see his website here, ivannossa.com. If you want to see Mr. Joshua, positivecomment.net, and moi, theinspirers.com. So thank you all for joining. Have a fabulous day. We are back next week on the 19th and the 20th. On the 19th, we will be with Joshua. Joshua, we will talk to you about you. And on Tuesday, we'll talk to JP Baudouin, who was supposed to be with us today. He couldn't be with us. I don't know what happened. But hey, such is life. And Christopher had probably some technical difficulties. So, Christopher, thank you for meeting us. And that's it. Guys who are here, if you can stay online, I'm going to go offline, but I'd like to talk to you off camera. Yeah. So, bye, everybody.
And thank you, Jasmyne, for being the perfect host, you know.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. You are awesome.
Thank you so much. Okay, bye, everybody.